something strange just happened in Gaza. The bombs stopped. The skies went quiet. The endless screams turned to silence. But don't be fooled, this isn't peace. Not yet. Because something deeper is happening. And trust me, you'll want to hear this. After 35 days of pure devastation, entire buildings flattened, children pulled from rubble, cities turned to ash suddenly. It all stopped. No announcement. No grand press conference. Just a fragile ceasefire, brokered in whispers. And here's the real question. Why now? Well, get ready, because this is the story you're not hearing on the news. You see, this wasn't some miracle moment of peace. No. This was a calculated, strategic pause from both sides. Israel needed time. Hamas needed leverage. And behind it all, powerful players you never expected to be involved. Yes, Donald Trump's name is back in the mix. You heard right. While Biden stood in front of cameras calling for restraint, Trump was quietly moving pieces behind the scenes. And the whispers? They point to Jared Kushner, man behind the Abraham Accords making calls, pulling strings, trying to craft a deal through Saudi Arabia and the UAE. What was offered? What was promised? We don't know everything yet, but insiders say it was big. Peace for normalization, a pause in bombing, in exchange for a future Arab alliance. And here's the kicker. Trump wants to walk into 2024 with this in his pocket. I stopped the Gaza war. Biden couldn't. I did. That's the message. That's the game. Meanwhile, in Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu is barely holding on. His own people are turning on him. Protests outside his home, military families demanding answers. Where are the hostages? Why wasn't this prevented? His coalition is cracking, his legacy shaking. And Hamas? They're calling this ceasefire a win. Not because they defeated Israel militarily, but because they're still standing. In their eyes, surviving is the victory. And now, they're using this pause to rebuild, rearm, and retell the story to the world. But behind the cameras, away from the headlines, there's a diplomatic race happening. Egyptian mediators, Qatari diplomats, UN negotiators, all working overtime to hold this fragile ceasefire together. Why? Because one misfire, one drone, one shell could start the war all over again. And here's the heartbreaking part. Inside Gaza, this so-called ceasefire means very little to the people who've already lost everything. Over 2 million civilians trapped. Food supplies dangerously low. Hospitals in ruins. Parents digging through rubble with bare hands. For them, it's not peace. It's survival. But there's one detail you need to know, one that could flip the entire situation. Hostages. Hamas is still holding dozens of Israeli hostages. And Israel? They've got thousands of Palestinian prisoners. A deal is being whispered, an exchange that could reshape everything. But will it happen? Or will it be the match that reignites the flames? Here's something even more surprising. The people really pulling strings right now aren't prime ministers or presidents. They're spies, intelligence chiefs, quiet envoys. People you'll never see on camera, yet they hold the future of Gaza and Israel in their hands. But don't relax just yet. Because some experts are sounding the alarm. This might not be peace at all. It might be a setup for something far worse. Both sides are quietly preparing. Rebuilding weapons. Fortifying borders. And if this breaks, the next wave could be far deadlier. Oh, and let's talk tech. This wasn't just a war of rockets and rifles. This was modern warfare. AI-powered drones, cyber attacks, smart missile systems. The battlefield is no longer just land, it's digital. And the next war might be fought more by algorithms than armies. Now listen closely, because here's the twist nobody saw coming. The phrase, two-state solution, is back. That's right. After years of being declared dead, buried, and forgotten, it's being whispered again. Behind diplomatic doors, in press briefings. Could this ceasefire bring the idea back to life? Maybe, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Because as the world watches this fragile moment, another battle is quietly unfolding in America. Trump versus Biden. As Biden struggles to balance diplomacy and damage control, Trump is already spinning the narrative. He's talking to donors, filming campaign ads, and using Gaza as a new talking point. And suddenly, the Middle East isn't just a crisis, it's a campaign battlefield. So here we are. A ceasefire that could either mark the start of peace or the countdown to a deadlier disaster. The next 72 hours are critical. Hostage negotiations, border decisions, global pressure. Will the ceasefire hold? Will prisoners be exchanged? Or will one wrong move, one single bullet drag us all back into the abyss? Because history has a habit of repeating itself. But sometimes, just sometimes, it offers a chance to break the cycle. Maybe this is that moment. Maybe this is the pause that leads to progress. Or maybe we're just waiting for the next siren to wail. If this story shocked you, if it made you stop and think, don't scroll past it. Like, share, comment. Let's make sure this story doesn't fade in silence.